It seems like every day there's something a little bit negative going on about Xbox. I prefer to kind of lean on the positive because I think there's so many different positive things going on for Microsoft and Xbox. This was one where some people asked me to kind of cover it to discuss my opinions on it, and I definitely wanted to get into that because it's something that some people are looking at as possibly maybe being a little bit of a trend, and I find that to be a little bit disheartening because I think that one of the things that people are kind of looking at is, oh, well, Microsoft isn't going to get this game because Xbox owners don't buy games, which is complete and utter nonsense. People really kind of run with that narrative, despite the fact that, and they'll use, and I'll give you a good example of a game they'll use for this. Resident Evil 4 Remake. Look at the split on this game between PlayStation and Xbox. It's crazy. Xbox don't buy no games, LOL. Okay, well, first of all, let's take a little bit deeper look into that. Well, they're only talking about physical game sales, so the most popular Xbox right now is the Series S, which is a digital-only console. Secondly, Resident Evil 4 Remake was only made available on Xbox Series X and S, meaning you already had a limited number of people who could potentially buy this game, as there was no Xbox One version. Conveniently, there was a PS4 version and a PS5 version, so of course, PlayStation is going to count for most of that. Combined is 150 million units versus like 25 million units on the Xbox side. Obviously, if there wasn't a huge gulf in the trajectory there, then I would think that Sony is doing something gravely wrong, to be completely honest. But I want to get into this. A lot of people are talking about it. What's up, everybody? I'm Crap Gamer and Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you for checking it out. Slap that like button. I would really appreciate that. It helps out the channel. I'm looking to get 100 likes on each of the videos that I do. Would just be tremendous if you guys could do that. Now, this is interesting for many reasons, and I think probably one of the main reasons that this is happening, which I don't really even understand it, is the term "no Xbox." It's trending on Twitter as another game skips the launch. So it's starting to kind of be a little bit of a problem, as this game, I never really heard of this game, Oxenfree 2. Apparently the first one was like an indie game and was on Game Pass or something, but there's plenty of Xbox announcements this week following Nintendo's Indie Direct. But one game that got kind of missing for Xbox was Oxenfree 2, which has now been announced for pretty much everything except Xbox. Specifically, Oxenfree 2 is coming to Switch, PlayStation 4, 5, Steam, and even Netflix on July 12th, 2023. But at least at the time of this, there's no sign of an Xbox version in the works. Now, you might go, oh, why is it coming to Netflix? Well, Netflix owns the studio, so obviously that's a huge reason why it's coming to Netflix. And the reason why it could potentially not be coming to Xbox, there's a couple of reasons. For one thing, Netflix is a cloud company, cloud streaming. They might not want to go in competition against Xbox, as they look at that as big competition for cloud streaming. So yeah, that could be it. They don't want it on xCloud. Maybe they don't want it on a competing service like Game Pass. Obviously, a lot of people assumed it'd be the case for a while, but it's surprising considering the first game has even been part of Game Pass in the past. And the news, combined with other publishers recently choosing to skip Xbox for their games, has led to the phrase "no Xbox" trending on Twitter. Seeing no Xbox as a trending topic is worrying in case of optics. A noticeable string of games not coming to the brand and platform is eyebrow raising. It's not like the brand is dead, far from it, but confidence levels aren't exactly high either. Now, looking through these no Xbox tweets, a lot of them obviously focused around Oxenfree 2, as you'd expect, but others are also highlighting the lack of release for Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster series, and some are also pointing towards a game called Trip World DX, which is launching on PS4, PS5, Switch, and even Game Boy Color. Jez Gordon from our friends at Windows Central says Oxenfree 2 is coming to Netflix, but not Xbox. What's going on? Forgot they got purchased by Netflix, but still, it's coming to every platform except Xbox. This keeps happening. Another person said, like, why is there no Xbox version? And this is the reason why I don't support Square Enix anymore, talking about the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. It's out on PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch, and they can be purchased individually or as a full collection. So this is kind of coming out, at a weird time. I feel like Microsoft is in this weird kind of situation. I think it's pretty clear with the Square Enix situation where there's some bad blood there, but a game coming out on Game Boy and not Xbox is a little bit crazy if you think about it. Oxenfree 2 news, isn't a good look for Xbox, but who knows? We might end up seeing it on the platform before the year's out. So let's not get too downhearted just yet. There definitely seems to be a trend where a few publishers are skipping Xbox with certain games right now, though, particularly when it comes to Square. As mentioned, there's still lots of great reveals and things like that, and Xbox has a lot going on. But you have to look at this and go, okay, well, what's the possible deal? Is it because people aren't buying anything? I don't think that's it, as there's many smaller developers saying they sell far more copies and get way more money by putting their stuff on Xbox than on PlayStation. So you just have to look at, in this instance, I think just use your head, look at it and go, oh, I see. It's, it's a situation where we see that it's Netflix. And I think that that's probably the bigger issue right here is, this is a Netflix type game. And, that's just what we're going to have to keep kind of dealing with. A lot of people have said this multiple times, but Microsoft is really in this competition with these big tech companies. I think Netflix looks at Microsoft as a huge rival, whereas they don't look at Nintendo and Sony as big rivals. We see Google looks at Microsoft as a big rival, same with Amazon. So that is a completely different type of situation that we see these things kind of come about the way that they do. And I do think that obviously Microsoft has their work cut out for them. This is why they're buying up so many studios to make their own content. So if you guys look back, and I'm not comparing Microsoft fully to Sega, but EA refused to back Sega at one point. So Sega had to make their own sports games, and they made really, really good ones. They really found their way and kind of made their way. I think Microsoft is going to have to keep on buying developers, and they're going to have to be able to go out there and make sure that everything's kind of copacetic in that way. Like they got to be able to have exclusive content, maybe have some content that make other people jealous. Like this particular instance doesn't come as much of a surprise. Like I wouldn't expect games made by Amazon to come to Xbox or Google. Well, of course, Google got out of that kind of business, but I wouldn't expect that to happen, and I expect like big changes to keep happening. We'll see how it lines up along the way, but it's not something that I would particularly fret about when it comes to this. I think Microsoft obviously have deep pockets, and they'll be able to get the games that they want. And what's ironic about this is the fact that years ago, when Xbox wasn't getting indies, it was because Phil Spencer said that he wanted Xbox gamers to feel like first-class citizens and to get games either before or on the same date as other companies. So they had kind of a parity clause, and they eventually dropped that, and everybody's like celebrated and all this kind of stuff. But now it's like, they still get left out and left behind. I don't get it, to be honest with you. Like this particular game makes no difference to me. I've never played the first one. I don't care about it, but I'm sure there's some because I've seen some of the comments, and it's just a shame that Xbox is getting kind of left out. So let me know what you guys think. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.